Saturday afternoon hoops from the Hill in Bowling Green, Kentucky. The final game of 2023 for the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky and the Wildcats of Abilene Christian. Also the final non-conference game of the year for both clubs as Conference USA meets the WAC here at Diddle Arena. And hi everybody, welcome inside the arena and happy almost New Year. Great to have you with us here today along with Jay Walton. It's Jeff M here with you. And Jay, this matchup a lot of fun today. First of all, Steve Lutz and Brett Tanner, two head coaches who go back a long ways with each other, both said they hate to have to try to beat the other guy today. Western Kentucky, high-scoring offense, and Abilene Christian known for their D. What do we have today?
Yeah, I don't think either coach wanted to do this, but here we are, a lot of history between them. One last chance in the non-conference before you enter the grind of January and conference play for both of these teams.
Let's take a look at some featured players. We're looking in the backcourt on both sides. First of all, if it's from downtown for the Wildcats, it's probably Hunter Jack Madden.
Yeah, he is for sure their best shooter. Brett Tanner needs a three-point shot, something drawn up for Hunter Jack Madden's coming our way.
And for Western Kentucky, Don McHenry doing a little bit of everything for this 10-3 Hilltoppers club.
Well, the Hilltoppers love to run, and everything starts with McHenry in transition. He's incredibly tough to slow down in the open court, and the Wildcats will have to find a way to get back, keep McHenry out of the paint to control tempo of this ball game.
Our referees today are Craig Murley, James Duke, and Tyler Kumpf. And there's Brett Tanner in his third year at Abilene Christian. He was an associate head coach under his best friend, Joe Golding, who he recently beat when they went up against UTEP. And then over on the Hilltopper side, Steve Lutz in his first year taking over for Rick Stansbury, former Purdue assistant, and was a head coach at Texas A&M Corpus Christi the last 2 years. He's got a lot of familiarity with a couple of these players who've come over with him. One of his assistants coached a couple of his current players at the community college level. Hilltoppers have won 6 in a row. They're home in white. Wildcats here on the road in the purple, and it is Abilene Christian with the ball offensively to get us underway here in the Bluegrass State. Wildcats average about 76 points per game. They're going right to Hunter Jack Madden, 3-0 Wildcats.
Love the way Madden comes off screens, looking to catch and shoot. No hesitation there, and a great sign for the Wildcats to see that first one go down.
Here's McHenry on the take. That wouldn't fall, and Leonardo Bettiol, one of their bigs who's getting healthier as this year goes on, clears the rebound for the Wildcats. That one was off the mark. Bettiol going for the rebound. Christian Lander fighting for it as well for the Hilltoppers. And they'll get some bodies up off the floor, and it's going to stay with Abilene Christian. First matchup for these two teams since 1965. Only the third time they've ever met. But it's part of the new Conference USA WAC Alliance, where all the teams in those conferences get one home game, one road game against the other conference. McHenry going right back to the basket. His putback wouldn't fall. Another chance, and that one won't fall.
Well, early in this game, you can see McHenry getting to his spot. Hard to keep out of the paint, unable to finish so far, but getting where he wants to be.
Bettiol on the offensive rebound. It's knocked away, and it'll stay with the Wildcats. Starting lineup for Abilene Christian does not have Arion Simmons in it. He started 10 of their first 12 games. He's going to come off the bench, one of their X factors. They've got Ali Dibba, their leading scorer at 14 points per game. Kavion McLean, their point guard, coughs it up. And back come the Hilltoppers looking for their first points of the day. And a foul coming inside on Bettiol as he got some contact there with Babacar Faye, who scores 8 per game and averages 6 rebounds. And the 6'8 junior will go to the line for the Hilltoppers. Their lineup does not have Jalen Jackson. That's going to be a big thing to monitor now going forward for the Hilltoppers. He suffered a broken left foot early in the year, came back from that, but just earlier in the week broke his right foot and is out for the year. Jalen Jackson, a 5th year, 5'11 guard, 7 points per game. And it sounds like, Jay, a few different guys are going to have to increase their minutes to try to pick up Jackson's departure.
Yeah, well, first off, just a terrible break for that young man and this West Kentucky team. You don't necessarily miss his offensive production as far as points per game, but defensively he really set the tone. There's not another perimeter player that would come across the rest of the season that he could not keep in front and shut down. So defensively is where they really missed Jackson. Opportunity for some other guys to step up and play some more productive minutes.
Hunter Jack Madden again and got fouled by Lander on the three. And we spotlighted Hunter Jack Madden, a 40% three-point shooter, the native of Sydney, Australia. And he's going to the line for the and one, looking for a 4-point play.
Just a very confident stroke, again, coming off the down screen, hands, feet, ready to square, catch, and fire.
And he's got it, and he's got all 7 of his team's points to get going.
Little token press here by the Wildcats, not necessarily designed to turn Western Kentucky over, just a way to slow them down in transition a little bit, keep the ball in front and make this more of a half-court game. This is the tempo that Abilene Christian wants today.
They really have to watch pace in this game. Western Kentucky wants to get out and run. That's why they average 80 points per game. And Abilene Christian would not describe themselves as a slow offense, but they do want to control the pace in this game. They're going to sub out Bettiol and bring in Aiden Ejiahon, native of Dublin, Ireland, coming in off the bench here for the Wildcats. Lander got free at the foul line and hits.
Obviously, West Kentucky wants to run, but in the half court, they're going to run a lot of their offense through their post players. They've kind of got a two-headed monster with Babacar Faye and Rodney Howard, 2 different styles, but both very effective at scoring. And Coach Letts would like to see more rebound production out of both of those guys, but certainly something that Abilene Christian has to figure out how we're going to guard these 2 guys in the post.
Brandon Newman got sent to the floor there by Ejiahon. And he'll pick up his first personal foul. So 3 fouls here early in the game for the Wildcats. Bettiol had picked 1 and he checked out. So they've got 3 total fouls, and it's 7-4 Abilene Christian here early on the road with the advantage. Babacar Faye. Now Tyrone Marshall on the take, a guy the Hilltoppers would like to get a little more from, and he's got his first 2.
Great job of Marshall getting downhill right there. He's just a relentless effort guy, makes a ton of hustle plays, opportunistic offensively, will look to run and fill lanes, great offensive rebounder. They don't run a lot of stuff through him set play-wise, but definitely can score when given the opportunity.
Again, Madden for 3. This time it wouldn't fall. And he steals it, though, on the pass from Marshall. No numbers, but Dibba is on the take, and he loses it. Newman, and an offensive foul. Pushed off, trying to go baseline.
Good call. Aggressive drive, looking to get to the angle. Didn't have it, and just a little bit too much extension on the arm right there. Easy call for the official.
A couple of subs now for the Wildcats, as Emmanuel Allen is among those coming in. Another look at the foul there by Newman, the Purdue transfer. One of the guys with a history with Steve Lutz, the former Purdue assistant and first-year Toppers head coach. Cameron Steele. Mashai Hill in the game for the Wildcats, and Madden is on fire to get this game going. He's already got 10.
Heck of a start for Madden, and he got himself open right there by setting a terrific back screen for Steele. His defender had to help, give him the opportunity to break free, and he's got a lot of confidence going early in this ball game. Can't give him an open look like that.
Allen way off the mark. And now in transition, there's numbers here for the Hilltoppers. McHenry gets in, but missed the shot, and the rebound goes to Hill. McLean off the glass for 2. And that's the first player to score other than Hunter Jack Madden for a Wildcats team that now leads by 6. Hunter Jack Madden is everywhere right now. Newman has to recross. Newman got his defender to fall down, and they've called a foul inside on Mashai Hill. who was trying to clear out on Babacar Faye. So it'll be Western Kentucky ball when we come back. Back and forth to get us started, and Abilene Christian on the road with a 6-point lead thanks to Hunter Jack Madden. A hot start so far for Abilene Christian, up 12-6 on Western Kentucky, and almost all of it has come from long range. We talked right off the top about Hunter Jack Madden, and Jay, the Wildcats are getting him free left and right.
Yeah, he's off to a great start. Watch how he gets himself open by setting the back screen here on this play, forces his man to help just a little bit. They don't give up a layup, and he's ready to catch and shoot. He's seen it really, really well right now, and if you're Brett Tanner, couldn't ask for a better start. You've got your best shooter off to a hot start, and you've controlled the tempo out of the game so far, keeping Western Kentucky out of transition and limiting their fast break opportunities.
Looks like Madden will get a breather here, and JV Seat is in the lineup now for Abilene Christian, along with Nasir DeGrew. They've got Emmanuel Allen, Cameron Steele, and Mashai Hill in their lineup, and the Hilltoppers will also make a couple of subs here. Jack Edelin is in, along with Tyrone Marshall, Dante Allen, Don McHenry, the inbounder, and he finds Rodney Howard, who gives it right back to McHenry. 12-6 Wildcats. McHenry, the crossover, nice move.
Don't see him go right near as often as you do see him go left, but there with a great crossover, able to get to the rim, and has had difficulty finishing so far today, able to get the layup right there.
Transfer out of Indian Hills Community College in Iowa, where he played under Hank Plona, who's now one of the assistants for Steve Lutz here with the Hilltoppers. So a 4-point game. Shot clock at 10. Allen gets it over Marshall, but couldn't get it to go down, and it's out of bounds to Western Kentucky. And Bettiol will come back in. Mashai Hill checks out for Brett Tanner's team. Now, you mentioned it, Jay. Tanner talked about how his offense in previous years used to be run through a single post player. They've tweaked that this year to go through 2 post players to try to find that inside-outside game. Howard looking backdoor and could not connect with Marshall. Describe then, as we see Brett Tanner, what that has meant for his team so far, and what really becomes different when you go from 1 post to 2.
Well, what you'll see Abilene Christian try to do is to get a lot of catches with their post players in the middle third of the floor, looking to get that top-down feed, as you see right there, because there's no help side. You see, Rodney Howard's down there on the island by himself, and so if you don't get pressure on the passer from the top, that makes it for an easy post feed, and so that's kind of a key cog of their offense, that play right there.
Hunter Jack Madden back in, as well as Ali Dibba. And there's Dibba with 2. His first basket of the day. He's their leading scorer at 14 points per game. Allen quickly to the other end for 2, and he's on the board.
That's how they want to play, on a made basket, to get the ball up and down the floor like that. That's how the Hilltoppers want it to go. Great finish by Allen.
And a quick response. Both teams feeling it right now. 16-10 as we are under 14 minutes here. Edelin gets it off. Almost had it blocked, and it's going to stay with Western Kentucky after some contact inside. Cameron Steele picks up his first personal foul.
Yeah, with Jalen Jackson going down, looks like Jack Edlin's going to be that next man up for the Hilltoppers to handle those backup point guard duties.
Howard a little bit short on the first one. Former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket. He was there for 3 years. One of the many newcomers on this Western Kentucky team. McHenry comes out, Marshall comes out. Lander is in, as well as Enoch Colombe, another Indian Hills Community College transfer, along with Don McHenry. So 2 of the newcomers coming from the same program as Howard hits the second one. 56% free throw shooter, made 1 of 2, and it's a 5-point game. Dibba against Colombe, gets enough space to get it off and score.
But Dibba, one of those guys, does a lot of different things offensively for the Wildcats. There you see him slashing through the lane, able to rise up and make a nice floater finish.
Howard against Bettiol, and it got stripped away by DeGrew. 2-on-1 now for the Wildcats, and the dunk won't go on the alley-oop attempt. That was Mo Muoneka, and he's just a little bit far away from the hoop to slam it in.
Heck of a follow-up by Dibba right there for the cleanup. That's why you always run the floor. You never know.
Dibba's already got 6, and now the Hilltoppers are starting to find it. A team that shoots about 30% on the year from downtown, and they've cut it within 6.
Yeah, I'd say their percentage is probably not what they would have hoped for at the beginning of the year, but certainly plenty of guys on this roster capable of getting hot, and you can see the range there from Allen on the previous possession. But another answer by Madden, who's feeling it.
Madden's got 13 already. Allen with a quick 5 off the bench for the Hilltoppers. Lander left open from way out. That's good.
Almost the same spot as Dante Allen on the previous possession. Both those guys can really, really stretch you defensively with their ability to make those deep shots.
12 minutes to go in the half. Bettiol working hard on Howard. Got it in.
It's a great matchup to keep an eye on. A lot of physicality for both sides right there. Rodney Howard's a big body to try to move around, and Bettiol able to back him down and get the tough finish.
How about Lander? He's got 8. A couple of threes for Christian Lander, the former Indiana Hoosier, and both teams are feeling it now. 25-20. The Hilltoppers lighting it up from downtown, and with under 12 to go, it's a 5-point ball game here on the Hill. Fun matchup today here for Abilene Christian and Western Kentucky, and right now the Wildcats lead the Hilltoppers by 5, and part of it is the long history and very close friendship between the two head coaches. There's Brett Tanner, 3rd year at Abilene Christian, and he goes back a long way with Steve Lutz. The two were both junior college coaches in Kansas in the late 90s, and when Lutz went to Stephen F. Austin, Tanner replaced him as Lutz then later went on to SMU. So as Lutz would tell you, Tanner took over for him at an important point in both guys' careers, and they both talked about, Jay, how much they hate having to try to get a win against the other guy today. A lot of coaches know each other because that's the life of a coach. These guys are truly very, very close friends.
Yeah, they wouldn't have scheduled this game if not for this alliance between the two leagues. And I just, as a guy who spent my whole career as an assistant, never having the chance to take over my old program, these are the kind of guys I pull for, man. They've paid their dues at a lot of different levels, and now having great success with their own programs, and I love to see it.
And both teams are on fire from beyond the arc. That's Kavion McClain hitting a 3. And right now, Hilltoppers have not missed a 3 in this game. And Abilene Christian is 5 out of 8. So they are 8 out of 10 from downtown right now. Lander, offensive rebound and put back, and he's got 10 already.
It was a good design set play to try to get Lander freed up. He made the right read, got himself open shot, and came up a little short, but sometimes a shooter knows best where the ball's coming off, able to follow his own shot for the putback.
And you blink, and the other team is already back at the other end and putting one right in again.
Yeah, I'm not so sure how long we can keep up this pace, but both teams really, really feeling it offensively right now.
This is a pace that Western Kentucky loves. That one good on the wing for Dante Allen.
Unselfish play by Newman to make the one extra pass. And almost the same spot he hit from earlier, Dante Allen able to knock it down again.
Western Kentucky loved the game that Allen had at Cal Baptist the other day, feeling like if he can keep that up, he can emerge more and more as a go-to guy in the lineup. Former Mr. Basketball in Kentucky. You see Lander there, and they're going to bring Don McHenry back in. Lander will get a breather. Here's another look at Allen. 34% shooter from beyond the arc. Transferred last year to the Hilltoppers from Kentucky.
Yeah, one of 3 holdovers from the previous staff with Christian Lander and Tyrone Marshall.
Both teams with a lot of newcomers, even Abilene Christian, which has more total returners. When you look at the guys who get most of their minutes, most of those are newcomers. Newman on the take. Tough shot, and that falls for Brandon Newman.
Very aggressive finish, getting downhill into the paint, and he's a guy, Newman, that I know his numbers percentage-wise haven't been what he would have liked so far, but Coach Lutz, we talked to him yesterday, mentioned, you know, he's the guy in practice, he's making shots, we're charting everything, and he's a guy we want to keep taking these open shots. Just got to get a few more to go down, get his confidence rolling. Half court set for the Hilltoppers. I'd like to see them go inside to Babacar Faye. I like this matchup with him on steal. Let's see if we get a set play to get the ball inside here.
Faye's only points so far, those 2 free throws he hit earlier. Marshall right inside to Faye, right on cue from you, Jay.
Well, it was a good job of setting the screen up top, forcing the help, and then just a very good job interior passing by Marshall right there. Faye with the finish.
Steele inside to Bettiol, gets tangled up with Faye and scores. Native of Italy and a former standout on the Italian national team, Leonardo Bettiol. Madden went for the steal, it left Newman open, in and out. And the rebound to Emmanuel Allen. A rare miss right now for the Hilltoppers. 3-point lead for the Wildcats, closing in on 8 minutes here in the first half. Allen, and some contact before the shot.
West Kentucky defensively love to get into the ball and really pressure hard. And sometimes when you're playing a team that does that, you can get some driving angles to the basket. You can put your head down and go. And Allen was able to do that right there. Gets his head and shoulders by and force the foul on the drive.
It was on Colombe, his first. 14 fouls on the Hilltoppers after Jack Madden gets cut off, and they'll reset with McLean. There's Bettiol, and a strip by Newman coming in from the weak side to rip that away. Looked like it was going to be one-on-one in the post, and Newman came out of nowhere to get the turnover, and now a jump ball, and it's going to be possession arrow to Western Kentucky.
Yep, just a little bit too much air under that post feed. Allows that help side defender to come across and make the steal and force the foul there in transition by Western Kentucky. Great job of pushing hard in transition.
A couple of Wildcat starters come out, Steele and Bettiol. Mo Muoneka is back in. And Mashai Hill as well, a reserve forward from Austin, Texas. Look at Brett Tanner. He spent 8 years as an associate head coach at Abilene under Joe Golding, who, talk about facing best friends, he had to go up against Golding, who's also one of his very close friends, when they faced UTEP recently. There's another 3, and it's Brandon Newman saying hello.
I know Coach Lutz is happy to see that one go down from the corner for Brandon Newman.
Tied at 32. And the Diddle Arena crowd starting to make a little more noise. There's a swat by Marshall, but the putback goes in. And Abilene Christian retakes the lead. And now we got a foul. They're going to call it on the floor, but that will take the Hilltoppers into the bonus for a 1-and-1 when we come back. Entertaining first half. Both teams with a strong offensive showing. And with under 8 to go, it's a 2-point game here in Kentucky. Under 8 to go here in the first half. Abilene Christian on top of Western Kentucky 34-32. Jeff M., Jay Walton, and our great ESPN Plus crew here with you. And Jay, it's been interesting to watch the inside game for both of these teams. And we were talking before the game. You felt like Leonardo Bettiol could be a key figure today for the Wildcats. What's he done so far?
Well, he's done his early work, which means he's gotten the ball deep in the paint where he has not had to make a lot of dribble moves to score. Just turn, find your target and go up strong, and he's been able to catch it deep in the paint a couple times, get some buckets for the Wildcats.
Babacar Faye at the line. This is the front end of a 1-and-1 after that 7th team foul was picked up before the break on Mashai Hill, and that was his second. Faye is 57% at the line on the year, made 2 of 2 earlier, misses that one, and Dibbe has the rebound for Abilene Christian.
A few post players on both sides today that struggle a little bit from the free throw line. Something to watch as the game goes on. You love to get those opportunities. You want to get those post-up chances, but you got to be able to catch and score or get fouled and deliver from the free throw line. Here's Bettiol again with deep position. 3rd straight time he's caught it in the paint, turned, right-hand jump hook, and West Kentucky may consider, how we're going to force a turnover by double teaming or put a different body on and give him a different look.
Tyrone Marshall left open, missed the shot. Madden's got the rebound. Hilltoppers 5 of 8 so far in the game from long range. Abilene Christian 5 out of 9. That one won't go for Madden, but there is Bettiol, who now has 8 points in the game. He averages 7 on the year. And just when the Hilltoppers were on a little run, Wildcats back up by 6. Rebound Dibba off the miss by Newman.
That shot I don't think Steve Lutz is as crazy about as the previous one, that the catch and shoot from the corner from Newman. I think he told him, he told us yesterday, he tells Newman, I want you to take every open 3 that you get. Keep firing them up there. But when he has to put it on the floor once or twice to create that shot, maybe that's the one he'd rather pass up and get back later.
Colombe with his first basket. 4-point game. Junior guard out of Quebec, Enoch Colombe. They're going right back to Bettiol. That time it got knocked away, and it'll go back to the Hilltoppers. And again, Bettiol was in deep in the post, and that worked out for him. Howard and Lander back in for Western Kentucky. Faye and Marshall come out. Cameron Steele will come out for the Wildcats. Emmanuel Allen in, JV seat. They've got Bettiol, they've got Madden, and then Nasir DeGrue.
Something to keep an eye on. We still haven't seen Arion Simmons. The second leading scorer for the Wildcat, kind of their emotional leader, X-factor guy, and we wonder what's going on there, but he would definitely be making an impact on this game.
Howard lost it. Allen picks it up. Lander gets free for a long 2. And the rebound is grabbed by DeGrue. Yeah, Arion Simmons gives them 13 a game. We have not seen him yet. And we're, as of yesterday, a guy we fully expected to see in this game. We have not seen him so far. There's Allen off the glass for his first basket of the game. Both of these teams have gotten a very balanced offensive output here in the first half.
And there's that high-low feed again. That time, instead of Bettiol catching deep and scoring, he's the one making the pass from the top for Allen on the score.
Allen on the reverse. That was Emmanuel Allen going up against Dante Allen.
So there's a look at Simmons. Again, he warmed up, looked fine. No injuries to report that we know of. So anxious to see when we might get a look at him.
Howard clears the rebound after the miss by Emmanuel Allen. 6-point game, under 5 to go in the first half. Good one so far for these two teams out of the Conference USA versus WAC alliance. Both teams had the other end of that alliance recently, with Western Kentucky winning at Cal Baptist. There's McHenry with his second hoop of the day. And Abilene Christian got a win against UTEP back on the 17th, 88-82. So this is the second of the 2 games for both teams in that Conference USA WAC alliance. Allen saves it. Now McHenry in transition. This is where he is so dangerous.
That's the way they want to get out and run. They had a turnover on the other end, but a very, very good job by Abilene Christian getting back and slowing down that break.
Four to go in the first half, and a 4-point lead for the Wildcats. DeGrue out of the corner. A bit too strong, and Brandon Newman all over the glass. Newman on the push. Emmanuel Allen went to the floor. Wildcats recover. Dante Allen, that one wouldn't fall. And it is going to stay with the Hilltoppers. And that'll take us to the under 4 timeout. Good pace, good rhythm in this one. Both teams having a nice offensive half so far, and the Wildcats holding to a 4-point lead with 3:41 to go before halftime. Back with you here at Diddle Arena, 3:41 before halftime. Abilene Christian looking for a road win against a Western Kentucky team that has won 6 games in a row. Hilltoppers at 10-3, Wildcats at 5-7. And as we said earlier, this is the final game of the calendar year for both teams and the final non-conference game of the year for both clubs. Now, Abilene Christian's already played a couple of WAC games because they've got a couple of additional conference games compared to what Conference USA brings to the table. Got an 11-team conference in the WAC, so they played 20 conference games, and with 9 teams in Conference USA, they play 16 games. So Western Kentucky has not yet played a conference game. Abilene Christian's played a couple so far. Don McHenry out of the corner. He's got 4 points in the half. That 3 wouldn't go. Both teams are shooting it well. 53% right now for Abilene Christian and 52% shooting from the field for the Hilltoppers. McLean got it inside. Back out, and that 3 is good for Kavion McLean.
A little inside-out action, got the post feed, made his man turn his head, and he spotted up and was ready to catch and shoot as it came right back out to him.
And a foul is going to send Tyrone Marshall to the line. You know, Kavion McLean coming into today 4 of 19 on the year from downtown, 21%, and yet he's hit a couple of their threes in this game. Madden's got 4 and McLean's got a couple. This is an Abilene Christian team that doesn't rely on the 3 as much as some other teams do, but they've had a terrific half of shooting here as Marshall misses the front end of the bonus.
Well, we've seen those shots go in from both ends of the floor today.
McLean came to the top. He wanted it again. Instead, a drive by Dibba. Now Dibba in traffic, got some contact from Howard, and they'll call a foul on Rodney Howard on the floor. And that's the 5th team foul for Western Kentucky, so baseline out of bounds coming here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's Dibba's game. That's what he wants to do. Put his head down, get into the paint. He's a really, really good finisher, high flyer. Able to draw the foul on that possession.
He's had a hot last few games too. He's shooting 62% from the field in his last 3 games. Ali Dibba, native of Stockholm, Sweden. They got Madden from Australia, Bettiol from Italy. A guard we haven't seen yet, Yaniel Rivera from Puerto Rico. Here's Madden now with 20 on the shot clock. Madden on the take. Madden missed the shot. And Marshall stepped out of bounds. And that'll be the 7th turnover on the Hilltoppers. This is an Abilene Christian team. Now that wasn't necessarily a really forced turnover, but Abilene Christian is very much known for defense. They are top 20 in the country in turnovers forced. They're going to make you turn it over about 16 times a game. So when you have the unforced ones, those are only going to add on to what's already a troublesome matchup sometimes.
Yeah, both these teams love to force turnovers. West Kentucky love to put pressure on you, get out in passing lanes, overplay, and create offense in transition. Abilene Christian not so much want to force you to turn over so they can run, but they are very disruptive defensively and like to get that turnover battle going in their favor.
7-point lead here for the Wildcats. Their largest lead was 9. That was at about the 12.5-minute mark. Here's Dibba again, another take. That one didn't go down. Lander wants to run back to the other end, and Lander could not quite feather it in.
It was a design play by Abilene Christian coming out of the timeout there, but fake handoff to get Dibba a driving line to the goal, just unable to finish.
Two minutes to go before halftime. Madden to Dibba, who puts it in. Ali Dibba into double figures with 10. They've gotten 13 from Madden. And now again, for the second time of the game, it's a 9-point lead for the Wildcats. Where do the Hilltoppers go needing a basket?
Really haven't been able to get their post players involved a whole lot in the half-court offense.
Lander with the answer. He's got a dozen. Yeah, Steve Lutz said he sort of challenged his bigs to come up with 30 points and 15 boards a game. Like, he wants that to be the standard. They've got a little ways to go if that's going to happen today.
Right.
McLean got it back out to Bettiol. McHenry the rebound with almost 1 minute to go now, a 7-point difference. McHenry the mid-range.
That's his game. Out of transition, he can score at all three levels. Really gets to the basket and scores, but has an excellent mid-range floater game, which you see there on that last transition.
And again, you see Abilene Christian go right back to the other end to try to get that answer. And this...
Yeah, they're giving the Hilltoppers a little bit of their own medicine today, forcing the issue offensively.
That was on Newman, his second, so he is going to leave. And Enoch Colombe is back in for the Hilltoppers. It's Ali Dibba at the line, 76% free throw shooter. The leading scorer for Abilene Christian, transferred from Chicago State a couple of years ago. Hits the first one, his 11th point in the game, and now Nasir DeGrue will come in and spell Kavion McLean. Got 56 seconds to go before the half. And Dibba hits them both. And a timeout taken here by Steve Lutz and the Hilltoppers.
You could tell one of the things that Abilene Christian want to do is to slow McHenry down in transition. And one way they've been able to do that is to put a little bit of pressure on him full court, make him go back towards the ball to catch it instead of getting that outlet pass already with a full head of steam. And so they've been able to limit his opportunities on the fast break, keep him out of the paint, which is one of the main reasons they're ahead right now.
What do you think Steve Lutz tries to draw up here out of this timeout?
Again, I'd love to see their post players get more involved. And so a post touch for Rodney Howard, give him an opportunity to score with his back to the basket. Either that or some kind of a two-man game with him and McHenry on a ball screen or a handoff.
Hilltoppers come back out with Howard, Colombe, Lander, McHenry, and Allen. So Babacar Faye not in there right now. There's Brett Tanner and the Wildcats looking on. They lead by 7. They've had a really good first half here. Lander to Colombe on the take for 2. Enoch Colombe's got 4.
Tough finish.
And they do it with about an 11, 12 second differential. Game clock and shot clock, so maybe a 2-for-1 if you're the Hilltoppers. Madden gets free, and after a very hot start, he's cooled off a little bit now. McHenry right back in and scores again.
So tough, and he does not need much daylight. He slips through cracks, and all he needs is the tiniest little bit of an angle to get himself. He has great length on his finishes, as you saw right there with the left hand off the glass.
He's got 8 points now here in the first half, and it's a 3-point game again. 2 different 9-point leads in this one for Abilene Christian. Hilltoppers have not led, but man, they've tried to answer these different Wildcats spurts. And it'll be Abilene Christian ball here with 14.5 and a 3-point advantage. All right, let me ask you about Brett Tanner's plans here. What do you think he's drawing up given the time remaining and the personnel that's led him to a lead here in the first half?
Well, Bettiol's been awful good. He's scored at will almost in the paint, so I would not be surprised to see get a little high-low feed for Bettiol to get a post up.
And there he is, 3 in purple. Bottom of your screen, along with Steele, Madden. They've got McLean in there and Dibba. Starters on the floor right now for the Wildcats. Shot clock is off. McLean Inside to Bettiol, blocked away by Howard. 2 seconds to go. Allen gets it off, missed the shot, and we go to halftime.
Well, that was a well-designed play. Had a great opportunity right there for a point-blank shot, but erased. Heck of a block there by Colombe.
Rodney Howard and Colombe inside, get it done for the Hilltoppers. Great first half. Man, both teams shooting over 50% from the field. Their final game of 2023. And a good battle so far. Abilene Christian on top of Western Kentucky by 3 here at halftime on the Hill. Getting set for the second half here in Western Kentucky. Abilene Christian on top of the Hilltoppers 47-44 in their third ever meeting and first one since the mid-60s. Western Kentucky won the first 2 showdowns going way back, and now they meet today at the Conference USA WAC Alliance. Take a look at some of the highlights for the first half. You're going to see for the Wildcats a lot of Leonardo Bettiol inside and a lot of Hunter Jack Madden outside.
Yeah, you saw the top-down feed that they like to get in their half-court offense there to Bettiol. Hunter Jack Madden shooting the ball with a lot of confidence, has a quick trigger, and was able to lose his man early in this contest and knock a few down.
13 for Madden, 8 for Bettiol, and a dozen for Ali Dibba for a Wildcats team shooting over 50%. Hilltoppers shot it well in the first half in their own right. Both teams over 50% from the field in this game. As you saw Madden on the drive, there's Dibba with 2 of his dozen. And then on the Hilltoppers side, Christian Lander with a terrific first half. There's 2 of his 12.
Yeah, he's done a little bit of everything. Normally a guy that likes to stretch the floor, shoot deep threes. He's done that today. He's shown the floater game with a mid-range shot, and he's been able to get to the basket and finish in the paint as well.
Both teams with 8 different scorers in this game. Lander leading Western Kentucky with a dozen. And then Don McHenry had a couple of baskets late in that first half. He's got 8, as well as 8 from Dante Allen. Western Kentucky, no Jalen Jackson, out for the year. Abilene Christian, we've not seen Arion Simmons, who does so much for them, and including scoring 13 points per game. So we'll keep an eye on Simmons. We knew we weren't going to see Jackson for the Hilltoppers. There's Simmons on your screen there with the long sleeves on. We really have not seen him take that shirt off today, so we don't know if something in warm-ups, not feeling well, disciplinary, we just don't know. But it was a surprise, put it that way, that for us not to have seen him in that first half.
Yeah, so far, as we mentioned, Abilene Christian clicking on all cylinders offensively. I would be shocked, though, if we see that continue for both sides this second half. I would think both coaching staff spent the break talking about locking in defensively, getting more stops, and I would be surprised if we see that pace continue offensively for both ways.
Both teams will go starters on the floor to get us underway here in the second half. Wildcats road in purple, Hilltoppers home in white. Final non-conference game of the year for both clubs. And there's Kavion McLean joining the Wildcats in double figures. He's up to 10 now. And a Wildcats team that twice led by as many as 9 in the first half is now up by 5.
Yeah, just unable to really separate any further than that, and the Hilltoppers clawed their way back in. Got a dogfight here for this last 20.
Newman had it knocked away by the good hands of McLean. And out of the corner, Lander misses the 3. There's Cameron Steele coming down with the rebound.
Yeah, good box out on the weak side there by Steele, and I think McLean may have got away with a reach there on the dribble drive.
Ali Dibba, now McLean. Steele, a starter, didn't score in that first half. Bettiol did, and now with 2 more, he's got 10. And they quickly have gotten a couple of more guys into double figures.
It's great patience there by Abilene Christian, working the 2-man game, got the double post feed, and again, Bettiol hasn't dribbled it once, I don't think, on any of his scores.
And there's an and one opportunity coming for the Hilltoppers. Tyrone Marshall on the take.
Tyrone Marshall's a guy I've watched play for years that just absolutely love his energy and his motor. And he's a kind of an emotional guy that can give his team a lift, get this crowd into it a little bit, because they definitely appreciate how hard he plays.
That was Betty all on the foul, his second. Marshall, the Nashville native, former standout at Pearl Cone High School. In and out on the free throw. And a guy who, before that attempt, was 18 out of 20 on the year. That's a rare miss at the stripe for Tyrone Marshall. 5-point game. This is an Abilene Christian team. There's Madden hitting the three.
I was just about to say that, you know, since Madden's quick start, he's been relatively quiet offensively, and there was a great catch and shoot from Madden.
40% on the year from downtown for the Australian. Now an offensive foul against Brandon Newman. No, blocking foul. Blocking foul as Newman was on the take. And that'll be McLean picking up his second.
Good job of moving his feet there by Kavion McLean. He's like, man, what else do I have to do to get the call? He ran right through my chest, but aggressive there by Newman. And sometimes you put your head down and drive it to the basket, and you get the benefit of the doubt on those calls.
Marshall with an up and under move. So long, so athletic. Now he's got 6.
Reminds me a little bit of Josh Anderson, former Hilltopper. He's a great athlete and really good attacking the basket, especially going to his right.
Up ahead to Newman. Backs his way inside. Drew a little contact from Betty All. Put back. That one wouldn't fall. And it's grabbed by Dibba. A major missed opportunity there for the Hilltoppers. And now it's Dibba all the way to the rim.
Big swing right there. The Abilene Christian dodged a couple bullets, able to convert on the other end.
McHenry tried to keep it away from the defender. Betty All had it. Knocked away, now to the floor. Wildcats ball. And numbers for Abilene Christian. McLean with a great fake, but then it got knocked away. And McHenry fading away draws a foul, and if that's on Betty All, that's his third. And it is 2 early fouls here in the second half for Leonardo Betty All in a lineup that has not included Arion Simmons so far today. They're going to go now to Aiden Egiahon, the native of Ireland. Really no choice at this point but to take Betty All out with those 3 fouls.
Yeah, that's a big development right there, because he has had his way offensively, and Egiahon is a really big body, athletic kid, but not the offensive punch that Betty All has been providing so far. We'll be very interested to see how long he has to go to the bench and what happens while he's there.
And Babacar Faye comes out for the Hilltoppers. Betty All fired up over on that Abilene bench, not happy with the calls. And McHenry, 87% free throw shooter, hits them both, and it's a 6-point game. McHenry joins double figures, and it's the 12th time this year in 14 games he's gotten to 10+. Western Kentucky's leading scorer, Madden, a rare miss. Colombe on the push. Gets around Madden, goes in and scores. 4-point game again. Hilltoppers have not led in this game if you're just joining us. It was Abilene Christian hot from the jump. Steal out of the corner. Marshall clears it.
Kind of sense this crowd ready to blow up a little bit if Western can get some things going. And Colombe providing the punch, two buckets in a row right at the rim. Here comes this crowd.
2-point game as they make a lot of noise inside Diddle Arena. Madden falling down, got the pass away to Dibba out of the double team. Dibba drives, tough shot. Loose rebound for Dibba, and the putback gives him 16 in the game. Every time the Hilltoppers have tried to get a run going, Abilene Christian has had an answer. Lander from way out. And it's volleyballed out of bounds, staying here. And that'll take us to the under 16 timeout. Abilene Christian holding on right now to a road advantage of 4 at Western Kentucky. This crowd inside Diddle Arena trying to erupt for a Western Kentucky team that is getting all it can handle here at home. 6-game winning streak for the Hilltoppers. Abilene Christian leads by 4. And Jay, so far in this second half, Tyrone Marshall and Enoch Colombe are doing all they can for the Toppers.
You get the feeling that Steve Lutz talked a lot about halftime. Let's be very aggressive. Let's attack the basket. Let's don't settle for perimeter jump shots early in the offense. And both those guys have had, I think, 8 points between the two of them, finishing at the rim, trying to be aggressive, get in the paint, and make things happen.
Colombe is a guy who comes off the bench for this Hilltoppers team that is outscoring Abilene Christian in bench points 17-6. Wildcats ball now after the missed 3. Here's Hunter Jack Madden going inside to Aiden Ejiehan. 4-point lead for the Wildcats. Nasir DeGrew back to Ejiehan, and that one off the mark. Loose ball picked up by Madden. And Madden unable to get it down. It got slapped around. Ejiehan gave it another try. Hilltoppers ball. Colombe got cut off, so he's out to Lander. And that one in and out for Christian Lander, who had 12 in the first half.
Howard's had pretty good post-up position last 2 or 3 trips down, but the Hilltoppers unable to get the post feed inside so far.
Howard comes away with a rebound. That was Emmanuel Allen on the 3 attempt for the Wildcats. Howard goes to work. Right-hand hook, got it in. 3 points now for the former Georgia Tech transfer. Back to a 2-point game. Largest lead for the Wildcats has been 9. They've had that twice. Western Kentucky has not led at any point in this game. 5 to shoot. Allen, good D inside by the Hilltoppers, and nothing there, and that'll be a shot clock violation. One of the better defensive sets the Hilltoppers have had in this game.
Yeah, that was a lot of action going on there by Abilene Christian in that half-court possession, and Western guarded everything great. They really, really did a good job helping each other. They're a connected unit defensively, and right there, great stop.
Colombe checks out for the Hilltoppers. Steele and Madden come out for Abilene Christian. 2-point game, under 14 to go. Conference USA against the WAC here in Kentucky today. The final game of the calendar year for both teams. Marshall, offensive foul.
Not sure about that one.
Mashai Hill drew it. Let's see how much he actually drew it.
I don't know. I think he was moving right there. I think Abilene Christian just caught a break.
So they still lead by 2. Bettyall with 3 fouls playing through it. DeGrew on the fader, got it. And now poked away. And that was Nasir DeGrew getting a hand on that. It's going to stay with Western Kentucky. Cameron Steele was not out for very long. He's right back in, and Mashai Hill comes out. Colombe also will come right back in for the Hilltoppers, and he will spell Don McHenry.
Bettyall in as well with the 3 fouls. If I'm Steve Lutz, I'm drawing up something for Rodney Howard right here. Well, actually, they've got Bettyall on Tyrone Marshall. A little switching defense right now by the Wildcats.
Here's Colombe, works on DeGrew, gets around him and scores. Aggressive take.
Just another really strong drive and finish by Colombe. Not a guy that shoots it very well from the perimeter, doesn't look to do that very often at all, but even without that ability to stretch the defense, can get his head down into the paint.
Betty all against Howard. Spins on him, missed the shot though, and Howard's got the rebound. It got knocked loose by DeGru in the backcourt, recovered by the Hilltoppers. They try to race back to get numbers. Marshall for three, got it! And the Hilltoppers lead for the first time today.
I was just thinking in transition, Tyrone Marshall three, probably not on your list of options for Steve Lutz, but that one goes down and this crowd loved it.
And there's the Wildcats with yet another answer. Ali Dibba has 19.
Yeah, two guys that really not known for their three-point shooting ability on back-to-back possessions, knocking it down.
Yeah, Marshall 25%, but hit that three. A short-lived advantage for the Hilltoppers. Marshall trying to go under Steele.
Yeah, Betty all luckily did not pick up a fourth foul right there on that possession. He's going to have a hard time guarding Marshall off the dribble.
Steele hits a three. One of their starters. He'd not scored yet today. He is 44% from downtown. Hits that one.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Steele been quiet offensively today, but that's his deal. He's a stretch four, ability to catch and shoot from the top of the key, make the post entry pass, and that was a big, big shot right there.
A 6-0 run for the Wildcats after the Hilltoppers grabbed that brief 1-point lead. 11 minutes to go in the game. DeGru, shot clock's at 5. Dibba got to get it up. Marshall got a hand on it. More good defense there by the Hilltoppers. Colombe
careful if you're
out.
Betty all right here guarding Colombe, because he's going to try to be very aggressive, taking the ball to the basket.
Both teams shooting just under 50% for the game. Allen, contact with Allen. Dante against Emmanuel. And Emmanuel Allen, the defender, picked up the foul. And that'll take us to a timeout. Abilene Christian, after falling down by a point, back on a 6-0 run. They lead by 5 thanks to this three from Cameron Steele. Abilene Christian on the road, leading Western Kentucky by 5. A team that prides its identity on defense and taking the ball to the basket, getting to the foul line. Well, today they have done it from beyond the arc. They are 9 of 18 from deep. Cameron Steele joined the fun recently. There's Ali Dibba. This has been impressive, Jay, from what the Wildcats have done.
Well, if you're Brett Tanner, you got to love what you've seen from your team during that last stretch. You're on the road in a hostile environment. Give up the lead, the crowd's really involved, ready to explode, and you respond with a 6-0 run, a couple big baskets, take that crowd back out of it, and that's what you want to see on the road in a tough environment like this.
Here's Marshall on the take, missed the shot, Dibba the rebound. Yeah, Brett Tanner definitely felt like his team was not going to be intimidated today in what is normally a tough environment on the road at Diddle Arena. They played 9 days ago at Arkansas in front of a crowd of 16,000 plus that was almost exclusively against them. They lost to the Hogs in that game 83-73, and they lead by 5 here with 10 minutes to go. Marshall against Steele. Put back, around and out, wouldn't fall. Betty All's got the rebound.
Yeah, Abilene Christian had a brutal schedule this year, but Coach Tanner told us how they would not be intimidated. They've got a big win, Big 12 road win under their belt at Oklahoma State so far this season, and have played very, very well in some tough places so far.
Yeah, they're 5-7, and that's a misleading 5-7 if you're only looking at a record for what this team is. Picked 5th in the preseason in the WAC, behind the defending conference tournament champion Grand Canyon, and then Stephen F. Austin, Seattle, and Utah Valley in the preseason predictions for this Wildcats team that has Western Kentucky on the ropes. Steele again. Cameron Steele did not score in the first half. He's got a couple of huge threes, and Abilene Christian is back up by 8.
Well, you know you've got to honor that three-point shot by Steele. A great shot fake, very, very patient, lets Colombe fly by, sidestep, buries it.
And now free throws coming here after the foul against the Wildcats. Here's Steele again. Got Colombe up in the air and then buried it.
Columbay continues to put pressure on Abilene Christian's defense, that time in transition, getting ahead of steam and making his way to the foul line. Hard guy to keep in front.
Columbay misses the first one, 62% on the year. Again, he and Don McHenry both transferred from Indian Hills Community College in Iowa, where they played under Hank Plona, who's now one of the assistants for Steve Lutz on this Hilltoppers staff. Columbay hits the second one.
So that's a great hire by Coach Lutz. A quality assistant and two really, really good players.
Plona was at Indian Hills for 8 years. Lander on the takeaway. Up ahead for Columbay, got caught underneath, finds Newman. Newman gets caught, gets it out, and it's knocked away by McLean, staying with the Hilltoppers. Good vision up ahead. And then Newman was trying to get it out to Marshall. So the shot clock's at 23. Nasir DeGrew coming in for Abilene Christian, and Bettiol, who's been able to play these last few minutes through the 3 fouls, is going to come out here. What do you think, Jay? Maybe they try to get it to what, 5 or 6 minutes if they can without Bettiol in there?
Yeah, and that was a huge stretch for him right there. There was a couple times where he was in a bad matchup, having to guard a more of a driver out on the perimeter and avoid the foul trouble. Nice job.
Babacar Faye's had a quiet day for Western. He's inside. He's got JV Seat on him. Here comes Faye, throw it home.
Well, they had the mismatch inside and were able to deliver the post feed to Babacar Faye. Really, really good job of creating the angle and a good post feed for the easy dunk.
6 points now for the College of Charleston transfer Faye. 5-point difference, 8 minutes to go. DeGrew into Emmanuel Allen, gets it over Marshall. Newman had it taken away by Seat. How about the extra effort by JV Seat? He could not convert on the extra opportunity though. Lander out to Marshall. Got it.
2 big three-pointers by Tyrone Marshall in this half. Both of them got this crowd really, really going. And forced a timeout right there for Abilene Christian.
And a 30-second timeout requested by Brett Tanner. They will turn it into the full under 8 media timeout. 7:26 to go. Western Kentucky again trying to make a run. Tyrone Marshall's got the tops within 2. We got a good one for you heading down the stretch here on the Hill. Abilene Christian on top of Western Kentucky, 69-67. Tops are on a 6-0 run. There's 2 of them from Babacar Faye. And it's set up another 3 by Tyrone Marshall. Don't tell him he's 25% shooting from downtown on the year. You said it, Jay. He's got 2 big ones in this second half.
Yeah, doing it inside and out. You saw the post feed for the dunk, the inside out kick for the 3-point shot. And you said it, we've got a good one going down the stretch here.
Turnovers are even, rebounding is even, points in the paint even. Both teams nearly 50% shooting. This is an Abilene Christian team that's known for getting to the line. They're 15th in the country in free throw attempts per game, averaging 26. They've only shot 3 free throws in this game, yet they lead by 2, and they've led twice by 9 in this one. Again, trying to answer a run. Steele missed that 3. He'd hit a couple of big ones in this second half. And the door open for the Toppers. Lander on the take, tie game.
Yeah, just a really, really good look by Steele on the other end, back rim and out. And Lander able to take advantage and get on the break, finish at the rim.
And again, this crowd starting to rise a little bit. They've tried this a few times today, and usually the Wildcats have had an answer.
Bettiol really, really wants it inside. He's working hard for position, unable to get the post feed. There he is.
One-on-one with Faye. Bettiol missed it. Faye the rebound.
Really, really good move. Unable to make the layup, though.
An 8-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes for Western Kentucky. They've led once today. It's by a point. It did not last long. And now we got a foul, and that's going to take us to another timeout. Teams are not aware of it yet. Now they are. Steve Lutz and Brett Tanner both having conversations with the officials. We do have a timeout. Tied at 69 with just over 6 minutes to go. Tied at 69 with 6:11 to go here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and quite a development here in the last few moments. Right after we took you to commercial break, there was a technical foul called on Abilene Christian head coach Brett Tanner. He was reacting to that call right there against Leonardo Bettiol, which was his 4th foul. And there's Brett Tanner coming out all the way to midcourt to holler at the officials. Now, you pointed out, Jay, the last Wildcat possession, Bettiol was banging inside. There was no call. Presumably, that's what started the fire for Brett Tanner.
Yeah, I think Coach Tanner's saying, hey, give it to me on both ends. You know, that's just a very ill-advised foul by Bettiol. 20 feet from the basket, and you pick up your 4th with 6 minutes to go. When you've really been your team's only post presence offensively. So down the stretch, going to have to be very, very careful. They're going to have to buy some time with him on the bench for at least a minute or two.
Lander makes 1 of 2. So for the second time today, Western Kentucky leads by a point. They've played about 98% of this game from behind.
And if I'm Steve Lutz, I'm going right inside to Babacar Faye right here against Cameron Steele.
Bettiol out with the 4 fouls. Lander falling out of bounds, stays in. Finds Dante Allen. Allen right at Hunter Jack Madden, no good. Faye the putback.
A little bit of a broken play, a little sloppy there. Not the picture-perfect offense from Western Kentucky, but Faye with a huge follow-up and putback.
Almost 4 minutes now without a point for the Wildcats. It's a 9-0 Western Kentucky run. Dibba, tough shot, rebound, Colombe. This feels like a huge possession in this game. Marshall lost his footing and a foul is called on Hunter Jack Madden. And Brett Tanner's near midcourt pointing this way, meaning like offensive foul. Didn't work out that way for the Wildcats.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that call. Marshall completely out of control. Madden just kind of get his feet caught up. He's moving backwards. That's a tough break right there for the Wildcats. And I'm sure a lot of coaches have come into Diddle Arena and left thinking, man, down the stretch, I got a lot of tough breaks.
And it happened with Tyrone Marshall, who's a phenomenal free throw shooter, had missed 2 earlier, came into today 18 out of 20. That's more like it for Marshall, hits them both. He's having a terrific second half, and he's got 14 points in the game.
Huge possession offensively for Abilene Christian. Who do you go to with Bettiol on the bench?
It's a 13-0 run right now for Western Kentucky.
Dialing up more defensive pressure as the shot clock winds down. What do you got?
Dibba scores inside, and Dibba's got a game-high 21. And now a steal by Emmanuel Allen. Back to the other end, blocked away by Colombe.
Huge missed opportunity in transition for Abilene Christian. Incredible hustle by Colombe to erase a sure layup off the turnover. To do that without fouling and putting Allen on the line, really great job of hustling back by Colombe.
And off the inbound, Dibba couldn't get it in. Second chance, Madden wide open, yes.
Yeah, I knew that was going down. It's so wide open. Little broken play, and ball just finds its way to Madden, who was wide open and buries it.
Wow, a 13-0 run was going for the Hilltoppers. Now the Wildcats right back to tie it. Not for long, though. And a whistle over near the sideline. And this is going to be a foul against the Hilltoppers. And
That's
on
an
Fay.
Example of the early work that Bettiol does in the post to establish his position. Had Fay buried that time, and he got the foul trying to fight around.
Madden, just over 4 to go. Got some separation, missed everything though on the shot.
Yeah, I don't think that's what you wanted if you're Brett Tanner right there. It's not Madden's deal, driving in the paint and finishing in traffic like that.
Lander from way out. Long rebound though, grabbed by Marshall. Marshall gets free again. Starts to take, and he got it up and in. What a game now for Marshall. 18 points.
It's 2 really tough finishes back-to-back by Tyrone Marshall at the basket. He needs a blow. He's gassed right now, and a timeout coming at a good time for him.
16 points in the second half for Tyrone Marshall. He is being almost carried to the sideline for a breather. And the Hilltoppers lead by 4. Western Kentucky and Abilene Christian are closing out the 2023 calendar year of their schedule with a thriller here today on the Hill. It's a 4-point advantage. Hilltoppers recently had a 13-0 run, but then Hunter Jack Madden and company got them right back into a favorable spot. Tyrone Marshall, Jay's having a monstrous second half.
2 really, really good finishes. One off a heads-up basket cut away from the ball. The other one off a drive from the top of the key. And he was gassed at the end of that last little stretch. Going to get a quick breather, but they'll need to get him checked back in very, very quickly, considering the impact that he's had on this game in the second half. Doing a little bit of everything, inside and out for the Hilltoppers.
Christian Lander committed a foul right before that media timeout, so it's Kavion McLean at the line. 79% free throw shooter, hits his first one. He's got 11 now in the game. Both of these teams have 4 players in double figures. Dibba leading everybody with 21.
The balance is crazy. We got 8 guys in double figures, 4 on each side. And who's going to be the one to step up and make the plays down the stretch? We've been quiet. Hadn't heard a lot from Don McHenry in the second half.
And he coughs it up into the hands of McLean, going for the and one, and he'll get free throws. Big turnover right there in a game that really has seen overall good protection of the basketball. And Steve Lutz talked about the importance of that yesterday, saying we have to take care of it. We know Abilene prides itself on forcing turnovers, one of the best in the country at doing that. And McLean makes it a 1-point game.
And down the stretch, it becomes even more critical. Each possession more and more important in a tight game.
McLean hits them both. Remember, Abilene Christian is normally a phenomenal team at getting to the foul line. They've only attempted a handful of free throws in this game, yet they're 7 of 7. So when they've gotten there, they've knocked them down, but they normally average 26 free throw attempts per game. Tied at 78. Fay trying to get it to McHenry. McLean's got him cut off. Shot clock's at 10. McHenry trying for separation. Lander in the paint, tough shot, got it to go.
That's really, really good defense by McLean, just basically almost face guarding McHenry the whole possession, but just better offense at the end of the shot clock there by Christian Lander. Heck of a finish going to his left.
Here's Dibba. Bettiol's inside on Fay, playing with 4 fouls, and that is a big basket by Ali Dibba.
Huge. He loves to put his head down and get to the basket. It has shown that he can do it going right and left. That time a little bit of a crossover, getting to the basket and able to score.
23 for Dibba. McHenry in and out. And Bettiol trying to keep away from Fay. It was out of bounds last touch by Bettiol. He's going for a one-armed rebound there to try to keep the position on Fay.
Yeah, he was trying to hold off Fay with the one arm and grab it. You really just got to control that that defender by boxing him out with the backside and used both hands to go grab the ball. Really, really key rebound that we didn't come up with right there for Abilene Christian.
Dante Allen out. Babacar Faye out. Rodney Howard is back in. Colombe, McHenry, Marshall, and Lander, the rest of the tops 5. Lander from the corner. Rebound, steal. 2 minutes to go in the game, tied at 80. Western Kentucky, for the 7th time this year in 14 games, gets to 80 plus. But the Wildcats giving them all they can handle on the road. That one from Dibba didn't go down. McHenry scores.
What a finish. Great body control. He attacks the rim, and we mentioned a minute ago how quiet he's been in the second half, and I'm guessing this last minute and a half you're going to hear more from Don McHenry.
90 seconds left. Madden, a fadeaway from the baseline, got it. What a tough shot. And Hunter Jack Madden has 21, tied at 82.
Well, it was his quick start that got Abilene Christian going early in this game and was quiet for a little bit toward the end of the first half. Several huge buckets here in the second.
He got the ball back to get a fresh dribble and tried to just speed around Colombe, got just enough separation.
Yeah, got that right shoulder into the defender, a little bounce back, and on balance, able to knock it down.
Feels like both teams have a lot of confident players right now when the ball is in their hands. What do you think the Hilltoppers do here on offense?
McHenry's got to be involved, whether off the high ball screen or the dribble handoff. I think you're going to see some kind of action where Faye has the ball at the top of the key, either dribble handoff trying to get McHenry going downhill into the paint. But keep your eye on Christian Lander. He's been very, very good today. I think in this situation, if you can get McHenry driving the ball to the basket towards Lander's side, it puts the defense in a really tough spot, because do you help off of Lander and try to keep McHenry out of the paint, or do you stay glued to the shooter in the corner and make McHenry finish? So we'll see what the design is here from Steve Lutz.
Two head coaches who are very close friends. Steve Lutz and Brett Tanner, known each other for a couple of decades. Former JUCO assistants in Kansas, going up against each other here today. What a game. 1 minute left. Tied at 82.
Interesting. Here you got Christian Lander with the ball and McHenry off the ball.
Lander trying to work on Madden. The shot clock's at 2. He missed the shot. Marshall puts it in.
Well, obviously they like that matchup with Lander against Madden. Unable to finish, but there's Marshall again with a huge impact putback.
20 points in the game for Tyrone Marshall, 18 of them in the second half. And now a timeout taken by Abilene Christian. Weak side rebound.
Almost used McHenry as a decoy a little bit. Got the angle that they wanted for Lander to get to the basket. And just, yeah, sometimes that's the hardest ball to rebound, is the one that doesn't ever hit the rim. For that weak side, it was just, you know, Marshall right there where he needed to be. And he's been that guy throughout his whole career. Just has a nose for the ball, a very, very good offensive rebounder, and one of the biggest baskets of the day right there.
All right, so 45.2 left. Abilene Christian ball. If you're Brett Tanner and the Wildcats, where are you going here to kind of calm these waters?
Going inside to Bettiall. I'm trying to get him a post feed. He's been working hard for position down there. He wants the ball right here against Rodney Howard, and we'll see if they're able to make that happen here. Also, obviously, you can't lose Hunter Jack Madden. He's had the hot hand, huge bucket a possession ago off the dribble.
About a 19-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Howard came out to stop Madden, so they go baseline. Dibba, and around and out. And Dibba's got free throws coming. And a lot of Wildcats smiling after that almost went in. They know that was close.
That was a great job by Dibba getting to the basket and just to get this shot up on the glass with the hang time there and getting his left shoulder into the defense to protect the ball from the block shot. And almost got the and one opportunity, but 2 huge free throws here by Dibba.
Ali Dibba, native of Sweden, 76% free throw shooter. He now has 24 points in the game. He is 3 of 3 at the stripe today. He's got 1 more. Emmanuel Allen comes in for the Wildcats. Cameron Steele, a shooter, checks out, so they swap out offense for defense. Dibba trying to tie the game at 84, and he does. 5-second difference now. Game clock to shot clock.
And Christian Lander looks like he's going to have to handle the ball here down the stretch, because they are, Abilene Christian just face guarding Don McHenry. Doesn't want him to even catch. His man's not even thinking help side responsibility at all. Just keep the ball out of McHenry's hands. Steve
Lutz had 2 timeouts left. He's going to use 1 of them. Abilene Christian has 1 timeout remaining with 28.4. The shot clock is at 24. So again, nearly a 5-second differential.
Yeah, and having said that, if Lander is the one with the ball in his hands looking to attack, you got to force him right. He's really, really good going to his left. Even though he didn't finish that last one, he's been able to get to his spots all night long going to his left. So you really, really got to force him to his right hand and watch that spin back move that he's so good at when he gets in the paint. And as always, keep Marshall off the glass. I mean, that's what happened last time. Sometimes it's not the first shot that beats you, it's the putback. And so whoever is guarding Marshall, if you can't get the rebound, just make sure he doesn't get it.
Tied at 84. Final non-conference game of the season for these 2 teams. Conference USA up against the WAC. Final game of the calendar year for these 2 clubs. Western Kentucky, high-scoring team, trying to win its 7th game in a row. And Abilene Christian on the road, a team that beat Oklahoma State in Stillwater to open the year, looking for its 6th win of the season overall. Gave Arkansas a good battle 9 days ago on the road in front of a big crowd. These Wildcats have been ready from the start today. They've led by 9 a couple of times. Western Kentucky was about 3/4 of the way through this game before it ever had a lead. It's led a couple of different times late, and right now knotted at 84 apiece with 28.4 left.
Another thing I consider right here if I'm Steve Lutz is putting Betty all in some kind of ball screen action. Make him step out. He's got 4 fouls. Make him slow that ball handler down. If he picks up his 5th, and there's really not another post presence inside defensively for Abilene Christian.
Marshall will inbound with Howard, Colombe, McHenry, and Lander on the floor for the Hilltoppers. And here's Lander again to run point.
Watch McHenry catching the ball on the elbow, and then some kind of ball screen action up top.
Shot clock at 10. Shot clock at 5. Lander with the left hand off the glass. 7.4 remaining. Wildcats are going to go. And McClain is fouled in the backcourt. Now, there were some fouls to give for Western Kentucky. The foul is on Don McHenry. And now a timeout is going to be taken by Abilene Christian. So the Wildcats elected not to call a timeout. They wanted to just go. And the Hilltoppers, with a smart play there with a foul to give, committed one.
Yeah, it was really, really smart defensively. Good job by West Kentucky's staff of making sure they know we had fouls to give. So in that position, that situation, being able to give the foul right there, now you're limited them to a out-of-bounds play with only 3 seconds left.
And that was their last foul to give. So any foul here would be guaranteed free throws for the Wildcats. So they stop it at 3.1. What are you thinking here for Brett Tanner?
Probably being very aggressive, somehow getting Ali Dibba a chance to get downhill and make the play at the basket. I don't want to settle for a jump shot unless it's an inside-out kick. Which you don't really have a lot of time for. So maybe try to get the ball to Dibba in the mid-post and let him rip and run to the basket. Either get the finish or make the official blow the whistle, get himself a chance to go to the line here to tie it up.
We'll see what the Western Kentucky lineup is, but if you're Steve Lutz, who do you want on Dibba right now? Marshall?
Yeah, I want Tyrone Marshall. He's got the best length, combination of length and footwork and athletic ability to keep him in front.
Wildcats emerge. There's Brett Tanner. Final advice for that lineup of McLean, Bettiall, Steele, Madden, and Dibba. So it's the starting lineup on the floor here for Abilene Christian, and here come the Hilltoppers. They got Fay back in with Marshall, Lander, McHenry, and Colombe, and at least right now they've got Marshall on Dibba. 3.7. Wildcats down 2. McLean misses, and it's over. And the Hilltoppers hold on. What a game on the Hill. And two very close friends greet each other at midcourt. Steve Lutz and Western Kentucky take down Brett Tanner and the Wildcats in a thriller.
Probably not the #1 option you're looking for with McLean with the mid-range jump shot, although it's a pretty good look. But credit Western Kentucky on that last possession of taking the ball out of Madden's hands, getting Bettiall out of the mix, and forcing that tough jumper there by McLean.
What a finish here at Western Kentucky. A 2-point victory for the Hilltoppers as they pick up their 7th consecutive win. And Abilene Christian showing why they are a fearless team, whether home or road. Christian Lander going through the line. It was his basket. This one, it's our Kentucky 8-1-1 play of the game. Turns out to be the game winner, the left-handed touch off the glass.
Well, it's a very similar play design to the one they ran before, that he missed the shot and Tyrone Marshall was able to put back. This time, able to hang and get the nice left-hand finish off the glass for the win.
Lander finishes with 19 following that basket, and Tyrone Marshall is going to be our player of the game, as he ended up with 20 points in this contest and 18 of them in the second half. Here's the Marshall highlight reel. He hit some threes, had the up and under layup. Terrific game by the Nashville native Tyrone Marshall.
Just a huge second half. It seemed like every basket he made was really, really timely. Had some big time finishes at the basket, especially early in the second half when they had that mindset to be more aggressive. A 3-point on the inside out kick, and then just the put back at the end. Just can't say enough about his effort in the second half to get their team this win.
Tyrone Marshall, the Franklin Bank and Trust player of the game with 20. Ali Dibba led everybody in this game with 25. Hunter Jack Madden had 21 for Abilene Christian. Wildcats are 5-8 now on the year. Their next game will be back into a WAC action on January the 6th when they take on Rio Grande Valley. Western Kentucky now 11-3. They'll be in this building next Saturday for the Conference USA opener against Liberty. That's going to do it for our broadcast. For Jay Walton and our great crew, Jeff Hem signing off from Diddle Arena. Western Kentucky 86, Abilene Christian 84. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Happy New Year from Kentucky.